Welcome back to the PigSkin podcast. This is episode 33. This will be our NFL Conference Championship weekend recap. Um, Obviously, only two games. We had the Chiefs at Baltimore and then the Lions at Niners. Two pretty good games, honestly. Like they came down there towards the end. I feel like the Chiefs and Ravens was not as close as the score maybe showed, but we'll go ahead and we'll get into that one. Chiefs 17, Ravens 10. I mean, it was kind of just. I mean, it's crazy to think the Ravens lost and they didn't allow the Chiefs to score a single point in the second half.
Yeah, so I do have some stats for you. So the Chiefs only had 98 total yards in the second half, and it didn't even matter. Like
It was kind of the inverse of the Chiefs Raiders game on Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we kind of felt this coming.
Yeah.
Like I had a future on the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. I put it back in September. I should have hedged it, but I didn't. But like it was crazy. Like going into the game, there was a lot of shit talking. There was some stuff going on. You saw all the TikToks of like the Lamar save us TikToks going into the game. Real quick before we actually get into the game, I do have some stats that I want to throw at you.
Okay.
So in terms of playoffs, within the first 6 years between the two players, I got Mahomes and Brady. Mahomes is 14-3 in his first 6 years in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady is 12-2. Mahomes has 4 AFC championships and Brady had 3. Mahomes with 2 Super Bowl rings and Brady had 3 Super Bowl rings. Like we're getting pretty close with Mahomes to where he's pretty much like in the top 5 conversation.
Yeah.
Like if he were to retire today, he would be top 5, right? Like we can officially say that.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer if he retired today.
Like if he won a Super Bowl, if he won the Super Bowl this year and then retired, like he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Like
it's fucking ridiculous. It's insane. It's funny because I had it almost makes it feel like those people that are like, oh, the NFL is scripted. Like it almost is like fucking maybe, dude, because it just seemed inevitable. And we talked about it multiple times, like you said, and like you talked about. I had family members. I was like, yo, watch out for the Chiefs. And they're like, they're dog shit this year. They're not going to do anything. Fuck, they aren't. They got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Kelsey.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like it didn't even matter that they didn't score a single point in the second half. They were up 17-7 going into halftime. They didn't have to score anymore because Todd Monken, his brain just like went in a blender. And I give all the credit to Steve Spagnuolo. I mean, he's my MVP for like both playoff games. Like if I had to pick an MVP, it'd be Steve Spagnuolo because he just completely limited the Ravens offense. And he just threw things at Lamar that he hadn't seen before. And I mean, it is crazy because if you think about Steve Spagnuolo, like he should be in the conversation as like one of the great defensive coordinators. He was a part of that Giants. He was the defensive coordinator for the Giants in 2007 when they went against the Patriots, and he he helped neutralize that awesome offense they had that got them into the Super Bowl as an undefeated team.
That was the 16. Yeah, that was 19-0 Patriots, right?
Yeah, that was the best team that we've seen since the 72 Dolphins that went undefeated and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steve Spagnuolo, I like the shirts, by the way, the In Spags We Trust shirts. Those were awesome. But it is crazy to think like how he's never really like brought up in the conversation of like GOAT or great defensive coordinators. And you saw what the Chiefs defense has done this season. Like they've been one of my favorite defenses to watch. Like some of the stuff that they do with Chris Jones and then that secondary, they completely limited the Ravens offense. And the Ravens offense has been great. We've seen them against playoff teams this season. Yeah. They put up like crazy points. Like we saw what they did against the Lions, the Seahawks, the 49ers, even the Dolphins. Like Todd Monken's brain was in a blender. Like the Ravens had a plan. Like they had a game plan going in, but as soon as the first possession, it was a 3 and out, and the Chiefs scored the way they did. It was just like he panicked, and it was just like we need to hit reset. There's nothing else we can do.
Yeah, and Oh, dude, it just we'll get into it more when we talk about the Ravens, but you're right. Steve Spagnuolo, I feel like he gets a bit overshadowed because he's on the Chiefs. Let's say his defense was on like the Buccaneers,
Yeah.
just as an example. Like everyone would be nonstop talking about how great the Buccaneers defense is and how awesome they are and how they're carrying this team. But when it comes to the Chiefs, obviously 1 and 2 and 3 is Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelsey, probably in that
Yeah.
order. You know what I mean? And so people always look to them first for the Chiefs' success, but it really has been like majority of the season, it's been their defense saving their ass and
Yeah.
keeping them in games to allow the offense to finally get it to click. And you know what's kind of funny to me? So all season, all anyone could talk about was how terrible the Chiefs receivers were. Just drop after drop after drop. They're so bad. Can't hold on to the ball. Look what has killed and plagued each team the Chiefs have played in the playoffs, and B, really the fucking Lions. Like there's been drops.
Yeah.
Butterfingers, man. Like you think the Bills had key drops and key moments. The Ravens, towards the end of the game, as they finally started to mount drives together, couldn't catch the ball.
Yeah. And
And
Zay
it,
Flowers had that fumble in the end zone when he was trying to stretch out. So
yeah, it's just. I mean, it's just really it's a defense that's inopportune as hell and makes plays when they have to, paired with an offense that has the ability to put points on people, but is also like is able to capitalize on what their defense provides them, which
yeah.
is great field position in a team that's not going to score a whole lot of points.
Yeah. And they don't even have to score a bunch of points.
They
I mean,
don't.
they haven't. I mean, they had to against the Bills because like Josh Allen, like
They scored
he's
what
that guy.
24.
They just scored 27.
That's not a lot. I mean, it's
I mean, I guess when you think about like the Chiefs and how much they
yeah.
are able to score, like what they've scored in the past, but I give a lot of credit to Steve Spagnuolo and like what he's been able to do with that defense. Like they have matured and they are really good. I think L'Jarius needs a top 5 corner in the NFL. Like the way he's played this season, he doesn't get the recognition he deserves.
I
He was
think
amazing. He
yeah, and
was
Trent McDuffie is really slept on as
Yeah,
well.
he was really good. And then Chris Jones. I mean, I know we everybody talks about Chris Jones, but like throughout the season, he wasn't mentioned as like a top
I
defensive
know.
player. He wasn't mentioned as like, a defensive player of the year. But again, the Chiefs defense has been awesome all season. And when you when you think about the success of the Chiefs like in the playoffs, like we alluded to this like earlier in the season when the receiving core was dropping balls, the offense looked just sluggish, it looked bad. There was a little, voice in the back of your head that was like, "Well, wait till January, wait till they get into the playoffs. There's going to be some like they're going to come up clutch in moments." I want to sue the Chiefs because Travis Kelsey looked so bad in the second half of the season. He looked old. He was just dropping passes. He didn't look like Travis Kelsey. In the playoffs, he looks like prime Travis Kelsey again. That first drive, Mahomes was just making passes. I mean, there was a couple of wide open passes
Yeah.
on that first drive, but I mean, he was just making throws.
He started like 10 for 10 for like 100 and something yards.
Yeah. And the first drive, he didn't miss a single pass. I mean, it was in the direction of only where his receiver can catch the ball. And it was when you look at that Travis Kelsey touchdown, the first touchdown of the game, it was perfect coverage. It was just in a spot where only Travis Kelsey can catch it. And Travis Kelsey's he's one of the 3 tight ends in the NFL that can make that catch. Just
Mm-hmm.
the situational, like just the awareness of being able to catch the ball in that position.
And the body
It
control and all.
it put the Ravens in a blender. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm sure they had a game plan going in. Like Todd Bunkin, he knew what he wanted to do going in, and then as soon as the Chiefs scored the way they did after the Ravens went 3-and-out, it was just, oh, fuck it, we got to change it up.
I'm curious if you had the same feeling. So yes, it was a 7-point game, right? Baltimore likely without the fumble would have been really a tie game. You know what I mean? Technically, as the way things planned out. Did it feel like to you that while yes, the Chiefs were blanked in the second half, if they had to, they could have scored?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. It was
I'm
over
glad you
in my
felt that
opinion
too.
at 7-0. As soon as
Yeah,
they scored on that first drive, it was over in my opinion. I had a future on the Baltimore Ravens. I went ahead and bet on them this game just because I couldn't go against my future. Like it was either pick the Chiefs plus 4.5 or just take the Ravens straight up. And I had to take the Ravens just because it's contradictory to myself. Like I couldn't see the Ravens beating them by more than 4.5.
Yeah. By the way, I do want to point out, outside of your Ravens pick, we were right on the over/under. We nailed that.
Oh yeah,
Under on this game
100%.
and
We 100% nailed
we
that.
nailed that one.
Which it makes sense because both defenses were good, and credit to uh, Mike Daniel in the second half. Like the Chiefs offense couldn't do anything like in the second half. I mean, it's like you said, like they probably could have scored in the second half if they needed to, but the Ravens defense stepped up. Like they showed why they were like one of the best defenses in the NFL, like neutralizing the Chiefs the way they needed to.
The Ravens and goddamn motherfucking 49ers prove why you need two good linebackers.
Yeah.
Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith destroyed the Chiefs in the second half.
Yeah.
They couldn't run, dude. They met them at the end every single time. They met them in every gap. If they tried to get outside, they couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like literally, and I know the Ravens have a really good defensive line and good run stuffers like Matabuke and some of those other guys, but it was all predicated by the fact they couldn't get through to the second level.
Yeah.
At all. Like Pacheco's a hard, tough motherfucker and a really good runner, especially in contact. And I mean, you saw it on the first drive. He was hitting every gap perfectly, was slicing through, and they shut it down. Now, again, like we said, the Chiefs probably could have scored again had they really needed to. But the Ravens are going to make it as tough as hell on them, and they did.
The craziest part is like when they needed to get a first down to ice the game, they go to the most unlikely person to catch a deep ball to ice the game, and it was MVS, which is honestly hilarious.
Like, it's so insane.
Like that was such an Andy Reid like masterclass in my opinion, where it's like that you need a first down. Well, how about this? We'll just throw it deep to the guy that just drops those deep passes every season. Like again,
and it was a hands catch.
Where was this? Like, were we getting duped? Were we duped all along?
Could have been. Could have been.
Wait,
is the NFL really scripted?
I don't think it's scripted. I'm just being honest. Like I'm being transparent. I don't think it's scripted, but like we definitely got duped because that receiver core was terrible. And
I feel like because the Chiefs have been in the Super Bowl 4 out of 5 of the last season and won 2 Super Bowls or whatever it is, I feel like bless you. I feel like
did you hear that?
Chiefs? No, I didn't hear it. Okay, that'd be funny though. Yeah. Yeah, I heard it out my window. But it feels like the Chiefs just want to give themselves a challenge, right? Be a little shitty in the regular season, have people talk down to you, not think that much of you, not think you're that good of a team, have to go on the road and win, and then just blank everybody in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they won 2 road games. So after they beat Miami, they went into Buffalo and beat them. And they go into Baltimore against a really good team, and they beat Baltimore. And that's why, I mean, I get it. Like, credit to Mahomes and credit to Travis Kelce and Andy Reid and fucking Matt Nagy too, because he's offensive coordinator. Credit to them for being able to put together like a really awesome first half. But Steve Spagnuolo and that defense being able to neutralize Lamar and that running game and just put Todd Monken's brain in a blender. Like
it felt like the Chiefs had 15 players on defense on every drive.
Yeah.
They were sending so much pressure.
And so you can blame Todd Monken. Like he's a lot to blame for this game, but Lamar wasn't great.
No, he wasn't. You can tell he really got anxious and confused, and he just tried to play hero ball.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why he was running around 10, 15 yards back, and then he tried to come back and cut across the field and scramble and only pick up 4 or 5 yards. By the way, did you or did you not take the over on Lamar Jackson receiving yards?
I did not, but that play was awesome.
That play was so sick.
That was so I think it would have been a touchdown if he didn't get tripped from behind.
Oh, dude, he was moving so fast and had so much momentum because everyone was so confused as to what the hell happened.
Yeah, that was one of the maybe the draft experts were right about him being a receiver, but
could have been.
Yeah, but you want to know something crazy? How many times did the Ravens rush the ball, or like how many times did they run the ball with their running backs?
Not much at all.
8 times.
Damn.
8 times this game. So yeah, Todd Monken, like he has a lot of the blame. Like, why would you get away from the running game? You're one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. but we can't stir that from the fact that Lamar wasn't great. Like
No.
he had that awesome play to Zay Flowers for the touchdown, and you could blame Zay Flowers for the fumble. In the end zone,
Yeah.
like when he went to go stretch it out, he's a rookie. Like it's gonna happen. You
Yeah.
got to make
And it's
plays.
not like he put it in one hand and stretched with everything. He had two hands on it. That was just a hell of a peanut punch from, was it Sneed?
It was L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Took
was
it out
Sneed that
of
punched it out.
all
It was just like a
Peanut
really,
Tillman.
it was a bad beat. Like I feel bad for Ravens fans. Like that's
He
got to be
was
rough.
inches away from the fucking
Yeah,
end zone.
yeah. It was, and for it to be a touchback, that's like the worst thing that can
I
happen.
know. At
But
least it was a true touchback where the Chiefs fell on it and it wasn't one of those that bounced out of bounds.
yeah,
Those suck. They have to change that rule, right?
no. I
Yep.
think the rule it needs to be a rule because there's so many things that they've changed to help
That's fair.
offenses. Like defense can't do anything. They're about to get rid of hip drop tackles.
Yeah.
What can a defense do?
Well, I mean, that does break femurs. Like, that's a nasty fucking tackle.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a nasty
You can't
tackle.
even you can't even hit a quarterback in the face like Edebike did to
Yeah. Yeah.
Holmes.
You can't let your damn. Yeah,
Yeah, you
dude,
can't even hit him in the face anymore. There
he
was a couple times
gets
where I was
so
watching that
done.
game where there was a rough in the passer call, and I was like, Justin
See,
Fields doesn't get that call.
I know, dude. And what's crazy is they called a couple of those, but he literally gets hit below the legs, had his ankle bent, and fell backwards. No flag.
Yeah. I love how the video came out where it's like Mahomes prepared for this, and it's him just doing the exercises of him bending backwards. Like it's crazy. Like Mahomes is just, yeah, he's incredible. Like I mean,
He is.
it sucks because we have another dynasty in our hands, and like this is the next step towards greatness. Where like you're rooted against. Like it was like the Patriots. Like when you saw their very first Super Bowl against the 49ers, like there was like the two pictures of like the maps, and it was like who's rooting for the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, and it's like all of America
Yeah.
except for California. And then the second graphic was like who's rooting for the Ravens to beat the Chiefs, and it's all of the
Yeah.
Ravens except for Missouri and Kansas.
Kansas. Yeah.
So like that is the next step towards greatness. And like, yeah, it sucks. Like, of course, like me being like a fan of like the NFL, like I do want like new teams in the Super Bowl. By the way, Super Bowl is it 58? Super
Yeah,
Bowl
it's
58?
58.
Yeah. So the matchup is the 49ers and the Chiefs, and it's in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. I would like new teams, but like I gotta respect it. I gotta respect Andy Reid and like what the Chiefs have done. Like they took a chance on Mahomes. He was great in college.
Yeah.
Like
Well, they did the smart thing though, and they sat him for a year,
yeah,
at least a year, and let him learn, dude.
yeah,
While they still had a good quarterback in Alex Smith. You
yeah.
know,
They
they
Alex Smith was a very good quarterback. He's
yeah,
a
especially
veteran
in
guy.
Kansas City.
Yeah, he was good. He was good for the 49ers. He got hurt, and that was the reason
Yeah.
they had to put Kaepernick in to go to the Super Bowl.
Thanks. Um, yeah, no, I mean,
Did they beat the Packers that year?
yes.
Oh, I
2 years in
forgot.
a row. God damn it. Dude, I'm telling you, it's always the goddamn motherfucking 49ers, dude.
It is,
Every
man.
single season.
It
But
is.
no, and
But I
I,
got to give a lot of credit to like Andy Reid and the way he's developed Mahomes because we watched that Oklahoma, that Baker Mayfield versus Patrick Mahomes. I watched that game and like Mahomes sucked the first season he played against
yeah.
Oklahoma. He was terrible. He threw 4 interceptions. In the second
Mhm.
season, he was going. He had nobodies for receivers, and he diced us up. I was like, this guy's different. Like
Yeah, well,
he's making throws I've never seen a quarterback make.
I've seen probably 20 to 30 of that's a high number. 15 to 20 of Patrick Mahomes like college games.
Yeah,
Like I saw at least 2 seasons of him in college
yeah.
because I watch other Big 12 teams and obviously I saw him
Well,
play.
no, yeah, same here. Like he was in the. I mean, like I'm gonna watch the Big 12 teams too.
Mhm. And it was obvious that he was a difference maker in college, but like typically, and you saw like the Big 12 stat, oh, no quarterback had ever made the play or won a playoff game, and then he came in and got rid of that, and oh, no Big 12 quarterback had ever won the Super Bowl, and he came in and got rid of that. But it was true, like Big 12 quarterbacks historically, say Bradford got fucked, but historically had not had a lot of success in the NFL. And now you can say, oh well, he had Cliff Kingsbury or he had all this stuff when he got there. That's not the reason he's a good NFL quarterback. He's great because he's got a hell of an arm and he's a great athlete. But Andy Reid is like one of the most. I mean, he's one of the most talked about and one of the most highly regarded head coaches and offensive minds. But people forget about what he does with quarterbacks.
Huh.
Like, look at his track record: Brett Favre, Donovan McNabb. He had Michael Vick, Patrick Mahomes, and he's had other guys sprinkled in there. But like those four are some of the like most well known and talked about quarterbacks in NFL history.
Yeah. He
And
just knows how to develop guys.
yeah, exactly. And his system fits quarterbacks really well. Like he is a hell of an offensive mind, and it's insane. And I love Andy Reid, I really do.
Yeah,
I'm
I do
about
too.
fucking tired of the Chiefs winning, but I do like Andy Reid, and I do like Patrick Mahomes, and I do like Travis Kelsey, and obviously Blake Bell, Creed Humphrey, James Winchester, and the Sooners, and Wanye Morris, and stuff like that. But it's hard for me because I want them to lose so bad because I'm tired of them winning. But like I root for so many of their players. You know what I mean? It's different from the Patriots dynasty. The Patriots, I grew up, everyone was like, fuck the Patriots. Like, you know what? You're right. Fuck the Patriots. But now it's like I've grown up with these guys, so it's like, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the again, like I mentioned, like that's the first step to greatness is when you are hated.
Yeah.
Like when you're winning so much and he's made every single year that he started, he's made an AFC championship.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah. And he's won 2 Super Bowls. He's got a chance to win his third Super Bowl in the 6 years that he's been an NFL starting quarterback. But watching that game and seeing the difference between Lamar and Patrick Mahomes, I love Justin Fields and I hope he has a lot of success, but like you have to take Caleb Williams at number one if you're the Bears. You got to be able to get a guy that can make those. I mean, you watched it, you
Yeah.
saw the game, like that kind of just ended the debate, right? With like Justin Fields and Caleb Williams.
Yeah, there's this thing,
Like
there's a hierarchy in the
you
NFL.
can be great, like you can be a great NFL quarterback, but to be like next level, like to be able to like win a Super Bowl, like Steve Young, like he was a runner in the NFL, and he had to learn to throw the ball to win his
Yeah.
first Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's one of those things because you look at, and it's funny thinking about it because there's three highly explosive, athletic NFL quarterbacks that come to mind off the top of my head. And it's Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, and Michael Vick. And what do Vick and Murray have that Lamar doesn't have? An absolute rocket arm attached, right, to their shoulder. And Lamar's got a good arm, but one thing that has always troubled those guys is they trust their legs more than anything else. And so, like you see it with Lamar, and you saw it in this game. He'd back up and have a great pocket, and he just bounce and bounce and bounce. And yeah, it's covered downfield, but then he just wants to run. But he's trying to. It's like it's a blender, I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, yeah, his
His
mind was in a blender because it got to a point where he was like, I need to make a play, and he made one of the worst throws I've ever seen a quarterback
to
make, especially
likely,
like, yeah,
yeah.
triple coverage. Like it was such
How
a
about
terrible
Isaiah
throw.
putting his hand up? By the way, like
Yeah,
he beats the guy cover. I don't know if it's a safety or corner, and puts his hand up as the other guy playing that cover two zone comes running up, and then the safety crosses the top, and it's like, dude, it's.
I know.
And then
Well, I
people
mean
try to
that's
call PI. He got hit, yeah, but the ball was short. It was not catchable. It doesn't matter.
that's the thing. Like Mahomes, his first year in the NFL, he couldn't even read a defense. Like he didn't know how to read a defense. And then I don't know how true that is. I'm just going based off of like what I hear. But then once he learned how to read a defense, like he just is surgical. He trusts his arm. He trusts that he can make. He trusts his guys. I feel like you have to go with Caleb Williams because I mean he can do like some of the things that he. I go back to that OU Texas game and the way he threw the ball, and it was just like,
The thing that worries me about Caleb Williams, and the NFL is kind of getting away with this in a
is that
way.
he's going to be a Chicago Bear. That's what worries you.
No.
You could just be honest. It's fine.
No, it doesn't worry me that he's going to be Chicago Bear. What worries me with Caleb Williams is the same thing I was getting into with Lamar and Vic and Kyler because they're so freakishly athletic. Well, Caleb isn't going to be on their level athletically. He's not that far. You know what I mean? But you still see him do it in college where he doesn't have to play within the system of the offense and within the timing of the offense because he can make plays with his feet.
Oh, he's gonna have to learn because Shane Waldron, like that's what his offense is predicated on.
That's what killed Lamar in this game. That's not what killed him, but that certainly didn't help. And that's what's killed people like Vic and like Kyler is because they're like, okay, well, if my first read isn't here, I don't have to look 2, 3, 4, and then go. I can go, one's not here, I'll run around, buy some time, and someone will break open. Backyard football is not going to work, but maybe 15, 20% of the time in the NFL. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I would take Kyler out of that conversation. He's a passer before he's a runner.
He is, but I've seen it, and maybe it's just his receiving core sucks ass, but I haven't seen enough. But then again, I haven't seen Kyler play a whole lot recently. So I just Lamar is the worst with it, and it pisses me off. And Caleb Williams, I see him do the same thing in college, where he trusts his athleticism, and Caleb trusts his arm to make every throw, and he can make every throw. But just because you can make every throw doesn't mean you should throw every throw. That was Brett Favre's biggest issue. Brett Favre was like, I can fit that ball through a fucking keyhole from Greenway, Wisconsin, all the way to goddamn LA. And he would throw it. And then you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Look at the fucking his final throw as a Viking that everyone likes to fucking split in piece with Jordan Love's first interception in the playoffs. He's like, my arm can get it there before that guy can get there. And you can't trust that in the NFL. That's the biggest problem. So, and Lamar, I don't know that he does it because of his arm. I think he does it because he thinks he can run around and make it happen. You know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't help when they completely got rid of like what they do best, and that's running the ball.
Yeah,
like they didn't even try to run the ball. They've got Galvin,
almost 7 yards per carry.
Cook. What are you doing? You just signed
He
Dalvin
didn't
Cook.
touch the ball. He didn't touch the ball or the field.
He could still play. I watched him in the divisional round. His first carry was 19 yards. Your offensive line's good enough. I know the Chiefs defense is really fucking good, but
they could have ran between the tackles against Chiefs defense.
Yes, they could have at least tried
really well. If the Packers, when they were struggling, right as they started to get hot, could run the ball against the Chiefs, the goddamn fucking Ravens, the best running offense in the country or the league, can run the ball against the Chiefs. They could have done it.
I don't know if they trust their receivers to block, but they could have at least tried to run like outside zone or something.
Yeah.
You get those like Justice Hill in the perimeter.
Yeah.
He's a freak
look at what
athlete.
He was doing, catching the ball out of the backfield.
I don't know. I mean, we can say like we should like Todd Monken deserves a lot of like discredit for the way the Ravens played against the Chiefs. I mean, it's crazy that they got away from it, but like, I don't know. I mean,
what do you think about
you can't make any excuses though. Like Mark Andrews is back. He was open on plays. Zay Flowers is a young stud. He was my favorite receiver in the class.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've got the tools to beat the Chiefs, but I don't know. Maybe Steve. Again, like I said, I credit Steve Spagnuolo. He's my MVP of the week. Like what he did with that defense was incredible. But like, if you're the Ravens, like this is the healthiest you're gonna be. Like they're one of those teams. They're like the Chargers, where like everybody's hurt like every year.
Yeah.
Like what's gonna happen next year? Like you're gonna have to.
It was all lined up perfectly for them to win. I do think it's insane, and we could talk about the running game all day. Nelson Aguilar had the same amount of targets as Isaiah Likely and more targets than Mark Andrews.
And he dropped like 3 of them. That was an issue with him, though. Mm-hmm. He had like 1 year where he was just amazing when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. But I don't really have anything else to talk about on this game. I mean, the Chiefs, they go back to the Super Bowl. We're witnessing greatness. They're probably – the line opened up, by the way. The 49 – it opened up at 2.5, and now it's, I think, 1.5.
Yeah.
In favor of the 49ers.
I do have one thing to ask you about this game, though. Did you see Kadarius Toney?
Yeah. So the way that, like that, it's just an all-time moment for him because like he goes on Instagram Live, like it was odd. Like he was talking about how the Chiefs said that he was injured and he wasn't gonna play, and he was like, "I'm not injured. Like I can play." No shit, dipwit. Like you fucking retard. Like everybody knows you can play. They're doing you a favor by not.
But you can't fucking catch.
Yeah, they're doing you a favor by saying you're injured and salvaging your career. So hopefully, like a team will pick you up.
Yeah.
Like you're a detriment to the team. Like it was just an all-time dipshit moment for him. I thought it was hilarious.
So funny. It's so funny. He's like, first it was my
What about
foot,
the
then it was my shoulder, and now it's my whatever the fuck it was. It's like, yeah, dude.
what about the Justin Tucker moment, like the conundrum between them?
I think it's funny because I kept seeing like, oh, Brady would have beef with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, and Mahomes and Kelsey just have beef with a kicker.
Yeah, they're picking on a poor kicker,
Yeah,
like the weakest guy on the team. Like, is that the example
it
we want to
did
set?
give
Like, you're
me.
bullying a kicker?
Yeah, it would Swifties stand up for that.
Probably not. I will. I loved every second of it,
I
but
did too. I thought it was hilarious. I did
we
think
are
it
going to
would
get a
have been.
lot of Taylor Swift content for the Super
I
Bowl.
did think it would have been hilarious though, and it would have been such a perfect ending if Justin Tucker got to kick a game-winning field goal.
Yeah, I know. They didn't. They couldn't get in field goal range. They like you need to score at least a field goal. Like you're in the fourth quarter. You
It's the
need to get in
Chiefs. You
field goal
have to
range.
get points on every drive.
You have to get points, and you throw the worst football I've ever seen in my life into triple coverage to Isaiah Likely.
So
Like I like I like Lamar. I think he's going to win MVP. He deserves to because of the season that he's had. And my dumbass is going to bet on him next year because
here's one more
I'm
stat for
I'm
you.
the dumbest fucking gambler on the planet. So of course I'm going to bet on Lamar again.
Here's one more stat for you. So there are two quarterbacks that through their first, I think it was 6 seasons in the NFL, they have a playoff record of 2-4, and they've both won at least one MVP, and will likely, if Lamar wins, will likely both have two MVPs through the first 6 seasons of their career. One of them's Lamar. Do you know who the other one is?
Repeat that one more time. The stat.
So there's two quarterbacks in NFL history.
One of them's Lamar.
One of them is Lamar. That through their first 6 seasons of their career, they had two MVPs and were 2-4 record in the playoffs with 0 Super Bowls made or won.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's a stretch.
Peyton Manning was terrible in the playoffs. Like his first 6 years.
His rookie
he
year was
trash.
dog shit.
Yeah.
His rookie year was bad, dude. But
yeah, when I think of Lamar Jackson, I think of Peyton Manning.
100%. Lamar should just go out there. His cadence should just be Omaha.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
Or maybe like.
But yeah, we are in a situation. We're in an era where you can basically say the Chiefs are the new Patriots. They could beat you in in different ways. Like at first it was their offense, now it's their defense. Like, and credit to the Kansas City like their ownership and the general manager, because like you're basically in a position where like you're having to build your roster up. Like you can't keep some of the same players. Like you have to pay your quarterback, and like the roster management that they've had to be able to like keep the Chiefs in contention for the Super Bowl every year. It's like Tom Brady. Like you have to put new guys around him. You had to get rid of Tyreek Hill for you had to get rid of Tyreek Hill to pay Mahomes, but that allows you to be able to build that defense because like your defense is like super young. And that's what they're going to have to do going forward. Is like they're probably going to draft guys. Like they're going to draft receivers that are good. They're going to get rid of Chris Jones, but they're going to find another pass rusher to replace him. But like you have to keep L'Jarius Sneed.
He's got old Felix Inaduke or whatever the hell his name was out of K-State. But yeah. I will say, so the Chiefs are teetering on that Patriots dynasty era. What'll sell it for me is if they can continue, because they've started to do it. Hadn't been as bad as the Chiefs or as the Patriots really got through, but Brady helped them out by not taking the huge contracts and whatnot. But anyways, if they can continue to fight through the losses of great players, Kelsey's only got a couple of years left. A couple of their offensive line are getting old. You know what I mean?
Bell season.
It's Blake Bell season. Chris Jones is likely will play his last game as a Chief in 2 weeks, or a week and a half at this point. You know, and they're going to start losing some players as time goes on. And then they're also going to have to start playing the players they draft and do well. You know what I mean? Like if George Karlaftis keeps playing really well, he's going to have to make a lot of money. Their
Willie
corners,
Gay, it's his last season.
Yeah, exactly. They're corners that are young and playing really well right now. At some point, they're going to start paying them. You know what I mean? Their receivers, they draft a really high the touted receiver, or Rashee Rice is going to start wanting money. You know what I mean? They get a really good running back, or maybe Pacheco sticks around. He's only going to keep wanting more and more and more money. So they're going to have to fight through that. It's something like the same thing with college coaches in dynasties. Like Saban had to continuously fight through coaches leaving, and obviously every 4 years new players and stuff coming in. But that's the thing that sets dynasties apart from good stretch runs. Yeah, good teams. So that is what is most interesting to me for the Chiefs, and it's about to start hitting them because Mahomes' cap hit is only going to keep getting larger and larger and larger as they go.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have to keep giving him more of the cap. I mean, the cap's going to grow. They're going to have to keep giving him larger and larger percentages of the cap and find ways to field a good competitive team.
And what's crazy is like he's, in my opinion, he's still not even paid enough.
No, like, you could pay him $1 billion a season.
Yeah,
and it's
if
probably
there was
not
no
enough.
such thing as a cap, like he'd be him and LeBron and guys like that would be like getting paid billions of dollars.
If there was no such thing as a cap, he would get that Ohtani contract.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't be deferred. He'd be getting all of it every fucking year.
Yeah, he's that good, and
yes,
we're gonna have to prepare for it, man. So, but again, with this Super Bowl, like I'm still gonna watch it. Like even if it's like a matchup I don't want, I would take. It's like when you watch. It's like the Panthers versus the Falcons. I'll watch
like
bad
Thursday
football.
night football.
I'll watch bad football, but like I enjoy bad football more than I enjoy no football. It's the same thing with Super Bowl. Like I enjoy like matchups I don't want to watch compared to like no football at all.
Yeah, thinking back to it, we're probably the last thing we get to before we get into the Niners and Lions. Thinking back to it, wasn't that Ravens-Bengals Super Bowl just a breath of fresh air? It was so nice
the Rams?
to have. The Rams-Bengals. It was just like
such a good game too.
It was, dude. It was so good. And if they had an extra like quarter of a second, Burrow.
That's the only thing. Burrow's the only one that can save us.
Who knows? Maybe Rodgers is healthy for
if he can. If Rodgers can stay healthy, or if Burrow can stay healthy, or if like Josh Allen's gonna figure it out, like he will make a Super Bowl. I know he will, but like they're just gonna have to do some sort of like drug ritual, like the
what would be
State episode.
You know what would be hilariously evil to not only Aaron Rodgers but really the rest of Packer Nation?
What
if he makes it to the Super Bowl next year and fucking loses to the goddamn motherfucking 49ers. Dude, I would be so fucking mad. With that being said, 49ers 34, Chiefs 31, or Lions 31. Did I just tell the script?
I think you did.
I think
you did.
Shit. 49ers 34, Lions 31. Damn it, dude. I mean, I didn't want the Lions to make it. I definitely didn't want the Niners to make it. It's just like, damn it, dude. We almost had something different. That
had to have been like the most confusing game for you to watch. It's like I don't know who to cheer for.
I know. In the fucking late in the game, it's pulled up right here. I'm looking at it on ESPN so I can pull stats if I need. Fucking Purdy has so much luck with dropped interceptions. It's ridiculous. But like when he overthrew that ball and it bounced off the Lions, like I saw it bounce off the dude. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. And you caught it. I was like, yes, no, fuck, dude. I don't know what I want to happen.
Kendall Vildor, former Chicago Bear. Thank God he doesn't play for the Bears anymore. He was terrible when he played for the Bears. But because that was the ladybug quote where he said that the ladybug landed on his shoe and he felt some luck. That's basically how the game went for the 49ers. It was just all luck. And I feel terrible for Lions fans. Like as a division rival, like I didn't really have like a dog in the fight. I just wanted to watch a good game. And I mean, I feel bad. Like my buddy's a diehard Lions fan, and I know he was very upset. He was happy with the season, like the way it went. But yeah,
it did feel kind of refreshing to see another NFC North team blow it in the playoffs, though. I was like, it's not just us.
They blew it pretty bad too.
Yeah, it really I saw them get up like that, and we kind of texted back and forth a little bit about it, but there was something in my stomach the entire time. Maybe being a Packers fan, I just seen it happen too many times to know it's probably too good to be true. But like They're up, what, 21-7, 21-3, whatever it was.
24-7 going into the
Yeah,
half.
24-7. And I was like, all right, this is good. Like, I wouldn't hate
Which
the Chiefs
was
making it.
crazy to me because like they're at the goal line before they kick that chip shot field goal to go into the half. There's like 10 seconds left, I think. Like Dan
Dan
Gamble,
Gamble, yeah.
yeah, Dan Gamble, like that's what he's been all season. Like the Lions, like he has been the meme of Randy Marsh, like the South Park episode of Randy Marsh where he has his like the wheelbarrow
Hmm.
with his gigantic nuts on him. That's
Yeah.
been Dan Campbell. And so for them to not go for a touchdown there, but instead go for the field goal was like it was crazy to me. That like you
He
have
was
to
saving
stick.
it for the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Because that's the one thing I can appreciate about Dan Campbell is that like he knows the identity. They have an identity. Like they know what they are. They respect Dan Campbell because he always goes for it. Like the team rallies around him because of that. Like for them to kick a field goal there and not try for the touchdown, like it was just like you don't want to go back on like your identity. That's what got Brandon Staley fired because he would
Yeah.
always go for 4th down. Like you have to keep going for it. But
Especially
yeah,
when it works. Like, because it has been very successful for them.
yeah,
And fuck, they're in the NFC Championship game,
yeah. Well, I mean,
arguably 30 minutes away from going to the Super Bowl.
I've always respected Jared Goff, and this season because of like the team and like them going for it and some of the throws he's made, it's like, yeah, this is Jared Goff. This is how he was with the Rams. Like
Yeah.
people are surprised that like he's this good. Like I watched him. Like yeah, they struggled, but the Lions were crap. Like when he got there.
Yeah. I'm glad you do bring that up because I was going to ask you how you felt about him going for it. Oh, I do think it's a good idea because, you stick to your guns. That's what's got you there. That's what's going to keep you going. Now, people are going to be like, okay, well, at least kick the Super Bowl or at least kick the field goal late and then
You
keep your
haven't watched the
timeout.
fucking Lions.
I know. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's like people are like, well, you kick the field goal, you save your timeout, and then you hope to stop them. It's like, or now I don't like the run call on 3rd and goal. I really didn't like
Yeah,
that.
that was terrible.
That
Like
was a bad idea.
that was the only one where I thought Dan Campbell's brain was in a blunder because it's like
Yeah.
why do you have three personnel wide receivers? You could have put in an extra tight end or you could have made like an eligible offensive
Yeah.
lineman
Skip.
to
Yeah.
yeah. Like you if you were going to run it there, like what I originally thought when that happened when they ran it on 3rd down there was that they were going to run it and then on 4th down they were going to rush the field goal team in to kick that field goal real quick to save their 3 timeouts. That
That's
way
what I
they can
thought
try to
too.
get the yeah. And so I don't know. The
Or I
moon,
thought that, and I was also like, or they could have a quick play call
yeah.
to get in there and snap it again and go for the touchdown. In the midst of the confusion, not just like, what the hell are they doing? Run like a couple crossers or something like that. Um, but yeah, no, I like them going for it. And what's crazy is on 2 of the 4th downs, it worked. They just didn't catch the ball.
Yeah,
2 of
Josh
the
Reynolds
calls,
dropped the
it
ball.
worked. Yes.
I blame it on the moon. I think the moon might have been a waxing gibbous, and that's
Yeah.
why like whenever nightfall started to hit, we had the waxing gibbous moon, and so that's what ended up happening. If you don't follow Jay Kuda on Twitter, he does incredible work. Like he's one of my favorites to like follow. But real quick, I do want to bring up a stat. So the 49ers, this is another Jay Kuda stat. Follow on Twitter at JAY capital CUDA Jay Kuda. Every time the 49ers have won the NFC Championship game versus a team that has a shade of blue in their logo, they've gone on to win the Super Bowl. And anytime they beat a non-blue team in the NFC Championship game, they've gone on to lose the Super Bowl. In 1982, they beat the Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. They won the Super Bowl. 1985 versus the Bears. 1989 versus the Bears again. 1990 versus the Rams. And 1995 versus the Cowboys. And then in 2013, they beat the Falcons. They lost the Super Bowl to the Ravens. And then they beat the Packers in 2020. They lost that Super Bowl to the Chiefs. They beat the Lions. So, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Just stats.
Hey,
Science.
history repeats itself.
Yeah.
But what
That's
did you
devastating
think?
for Detroit.
It sucks. I
I
saw
found
someone.
myself like cheering for them. Like
I did too.
after the Jameer Gibbs like mishandle fumble,
Yeah.
like and the 49ers went on to score, I was like, "Oh, come on, Lions. I was like, I'm really doing this. Like, because I know what it's like. Like, it's a different kind of. The Lions haven't felt the heartbreak. Like the Packers have felt the heartbreak, getting there and getting close and being a team good enough to get to the Super Bowl, and then they lose to the 49ers, and it's like it's a heartbreak.
Yeah.
The Lions have just felt misery.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of heartbreak. Like you had Barry Sanders, the best running back of all time in the NFL, who retired early because he just fucking couldn't stand Detroit anymore. He hated the organization. And then you had Megatron, arguably like the best receiver.
And Matt Stafford, who had to watch win a Super Bowl with someone else.
Yeah. Like that, it's a different kind of misery, but like there was a lot of people saying that they hadn't felt like the heartbreak that some of the teams have faced. They have. It's just been a different kind of heartbreak.
Yeah.
So this is like the true, like you almost get there, and then like
that is partially outside of me loving Baker Mayfield with all of my heart. That's partially why I want the Bucks and him to win a Super Bowl so bad, because I want them to piss on the Browns.
Well, also that because of 2017.
Yes, yeah. But I want them to piss on the Browns because the Browns are a poverty franchise and they got rid of Baker. And I hate it for Browns fans because there's a lot of Browns fans that really love Baker. Didn't want him to go. But I just think it would be hilarious for that organization to watch him
the Haslam's,
win a Super Bowl. Yeah, to watch the Haslam's watch him win the Super Bowl. Yeah, exactly. So funny. But moving on into this game, think about the Niners, man. I mean, it's just they showed in these last two games that they can come back and win football games. Like they're burying that stat where they don't come back. You know what I mean? The come from behind wins or whatever the fuck it is. Like Shanahan is single-handedly like they're burying that stat. And they just came out, and really from the first drive, it was just pure dominance.
Yeah.
It really hurt to watch because you're right. I mean, I spent the first half of the game like, fuck, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Well, I spent the first half of the game just thinking like the Lions were the best team in the NFL. Like, they were clearly the better team. If you watch them like in the first half, they bullied San Francisco. Yeah. Like it wasn't even close. They beat the dog shit out of them in the first half. Yeah. I was like, is this really like this is really happening? Like they're about to take control of the division.
50-0.
Yeah. They were taking control of the division like right before my eyes. It was the Packers have Jordan Love. No, like the Lions are going to like run the division for 5 years. Mm-hmm. And like the 49ers haven't been great in the playoffs, but their offensive line was bullying them. And Chase Young, he still stinks. I don't know if you saw that Jahmyr Gibbs run where like he just had like minimal effort.
Yeah.
Like they bullied the front seven for the 49ers and they were up.
They did exactly what we were talking about they had to do and what teams had shown how to beat the 49ers in doing. Running the ball, but not only running the ball, but getting outside. They can't stop the sideline to sideline.
And they made Brock Purdy look like fucking Iowa State Brock Purdy, where he's just a fucking bum. Yeah. But credit to Brock Purdy because he
gets away with so much shit on the ball.
Well, I talked major shit about him like after the Packers game. Like you fucking stink. And then the first half, like he stunk. He was terrible. He couldn't make throws. He could only make like the short intermediate routes to Debo. But the second half, like he used his legs. He did what Lamar didn't, and he took control of the game. Like I'll give him a lot of credit for that second half. Like that was Liam McNeil was bearing down on him. Like Liam McNeil is phenomenal, by the way.
He's so good.
He is so fucking good for the Lions. And like if you're the Lions, you have to keep him.
100%.
Like pay him whatever you want because he bullied. Like he was getting double teamed by the left guard and the center, and he just bullied his way through. But yeah, I mean Brock Purdy, he made the throws he needed to, and of course some of them were lucky, like the one-handed catch by Juwan Jennings, and then the Brandon Ayuk. But he did make some plays where it was like, okay, like he silenced the critics, like he made it to the Super Bowl coming from behind. That was one thing that I was scared about with Brock Purdy, like can he do it? And he did when he needed to. All-time choke job by the Lions, and I feel bad for their fans, but credit the 49ers, and I hope George Kittle wins the Super Bowl.
Not only him, but I would love to see Trent Williams and Braden Willis.
Yeah.
At this point, all I root for is Sooners. So I just want the team really most of the time I just want the team with the most OU alum to win a Super Bowl. But this year, I'd love to see Trent Williams and B. Willie. I'd love to see Brady Williams get a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
so
me too.
do you have?
I want George Kittle to win the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
he had a nasty block on Aiden Hutchinson. I'm about to send it to you, but
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about. He fucking buried him, dude.
buried him. It was so beautiful.
Classic George Kittle.
He does a lot of the dirty work, and he doesn't get a lot of credit, but he's definitely.
He quietly had 1,000-yard season this season, didn't
he? Yeah. I don't know. I didn't check, but it doesn't matter. He is one of the best tight ends in the NFL, and I hope he's a Bear one day.
Just fucking hope he's not. No, I can't stand. Look, I can't stand him now talking shit about the Packers. I cannot stand him as a Bear. That is not allowed to happen. He cannot be a Bear.
I would hope he's a Bear. I would hope.
I just want to go back.
Caleb Williams. Ooh.
You can shut up now.
Okay. Sorry, Val.
Do you have any other thoughts on this game or on this weekend though?
No, man. I need to call Arnold and see how he's doing.
Hey, Arnold.
Let me call him right now.
Let's see. All right.
Yeah, let me call him and see how he's feeling. He's not going to answer.
This is live bullying, by the way.
Hey, man. We're recording the podcast right now, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that game.
Give me a second. I got you on speaker. What you doing?
We're recording the podcast episode, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on the game as a Lions fan.
Oh. Man, it is what it is, bro. It hurts. It sucks.
Yeah. What?
Anyway.
But you were like right there. Like it was right in front of you. I feel awful, man, because I caught myself cheering for the Lions like at the end.
It's your fault.
And yeah, I mean it is my fault.
It's our fault, actually. I started rooting for the Lions.
I will tell you this, Arnold. It is Malone's fault because whenever they were up 24-7 at half, I said, yeah, there's no way the 49ers can come back because Kyle Shanahan is 1-31 when his team is trailing by 10 points or more going into the next half. And Malone said, knock on wood, the 49ers can come back and win this game. He actually jinxed the stat. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like 17-point comeback. It's rough to see, man.
What do you hope for next season? You hope that you can just beat the Packers, like, just beat the shit out of them?
I'm expecting, like, much of the same, honestly.
Get to the NFC Championship and lose, or, like, good season?
That's my job.
Good season. Like, you know, playoffs is never guaranteed.
Yeah.
Packers are looking good, like, end of the season. I don't know about Bears or Vikings right now.
You definitely want to beat the Packers, though, right? Like, you want to beat the shit out of them.
Everyone wants to beat the Packers.
Yeah, that's right.
So.
I agree with that. Well, do you want to play Rocket League later?
Yeah, I'm down to play Rocket League.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, when I get done with this episode, we'll play.
All I'm saying about San Francisco is if they have 2 come-from-behind wins and don't win the Super Bowl, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
I fucking agree.
Dalton said he fucking agrees.
Like, that's just, it's not okay.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
But, you know, just couldn't connect. All we had to do was put some points on the board and, you know.
Well, let me throw something out there for you that'll make you feel better before I hang up. All your guys are young, and that does scare me because Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jack Campbell, and all those dudes are fucking like in their like rookie or second year, and they're all fucking good. And it's gonna piss me off if you run the division next season.
I mean, that's why I'm kind of expecting much more of the same. Like we still gonna have like pretty much the same squad next year.
Yeah.
You know, so with that, you know, it's pretty. You know, you feel pretty safe
Yeah. Well, I wish you all the success next season, and I just hope you beat the Packers, because I know we will.
Always, man. Just want to fucking close them out.
Yeah. All right, buddy. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, see you, man.
This is fucking discrimination. Bullshit.
Yeah, he's not taking the loss well. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, it's. I've been there multiple times. It's tough. It's a hard week. Really, it's a hard 3 weeks because that whole week afterwards sucks ass, and then you got the whole Super Bowl week, and then you got the week after the Super Bowl. It's a hard 9 months because then you got to get back to the season. But anyways, anything else that you'd like to go over before we get on out of here?
No, man. I hope we have a good game next week. I'm probably gonna hammer the Chiefs, and that's gonna bite me in the ass because I've been betting against Mahomes throughout the playoffs, and as soon as I jump on the ship, 49ers are probably gonna win because that's how it works. Actually, no.
Spreads dropped to 2.
I'm gonna continue to bet against Mahomes because he's gonna prove me wrong every single time. At some point, it's gonna pay off for me. Even if it's like 7, he's gonna win 7 fucking Super Bowls before it finally pays off for me. But
you're like 8. You're gonna be like $8,000, and or you're gonna be like $80,000 in debt, and he's finally gonna lose. You're like, yes, I did it. You're gonna like
bet against
Squidward in his fucking cardboard box.
I'm gonna be $80,000 in the hole, and I'm gonna win like $500 off of betting against Mahomes.
And you're gonna put a bet of $4.95 down, so it literally is just one of those that didn't win shit.
Oh man, but no, I think I am scared next season about the Lions though because they do have a young squad. But credit to the 49ers, credit to Kyle Shanahan. They stayed in the game when they needed to. I mean, they didn't give up, but I am kind of scared for them because Chase Young stinks.
Yeah, he's bad. But
and they're considering benching him. I don't know if that's true or not. That was just something I saw on Twitter.
They did maximize those middle 8 though. Last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 of the second half. I mean, they came out, held the lines to a field goal, so only keeping it at 17. Came out, got a touchdown, forced a 3 and out. They came back and got another touchdown. And it really
and really the only like brain blender was that third down run call for them to take a timeout when they needed to save it. But Dan Campbell, what did you think about what he said?
I completely agree with him. Like it's truthful. It's hard to get to that point in the season, and not everyone makes it back. Look at the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles have made it back to the Super Bowl, but they won it in 2017, something like that, and then it took them all the way until 2022 to get back there.
Yeah,
like it's not guaranteed. Just like your buddy said, the playoffs aren't guaranteed. You get there just because you got there once doesn't mean you're going to get back. I know the Rams put themselves in cap hell to do what they did. They sold their future for a Super Bowl, but they're not even close. Look at the Seahawks. They won one, lost one, and never got back.
Yeah.
The Packers won it in 2011, never got back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's why I agree with him. I think what he said was right.
The Bears won it in 05, never got, or whenever they won it, never got back.
Cunt. Jim McMahon is still my second favorite quarterback in history. Because
what do you think about Vince McMahon?
Oh, yeah. My childhood, dude.
I know, bro.
My fucking childhood, man. WWE, WWF, man. I'll forever remember like DX and Stone Cold and the Brothers of Destruction.
DX was my shit, bro.
Yeah, dude, DX was awesome. Yeah.
Remember when Shawn Michaels was walking through just sweet chin music and people in the fucking halls?
Yeah.
Just everybody. Oh,
the dude. Fucking what was it called? Like the match against Bret Hart, the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah.
I'll remember that too. I mean, I wasn't alive for it, but it was a big storyline. But yeah, Vince McMahon retiring, that's crazy. That's sports entertainment, you know. He was like the icon.
It's not
like all their
about.
Well, he's retiring.
Well, I know that, but did you see what else is going on?
He's
been called out in a lawsuit for sex trafficking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why does that not surprise me?
No, yeah, especially the pictures that have come up because he's got that little tiny mustache, and he just you didn't see that?
No. So when did this come out?
Like last 3-4 days, dude.
Oh, I haven't seen anything in a week. The last thing that I saw was last week, and it was saying that Vince McMahon was retiring.
Yeah.
Damn, sex trafficking. He's
Yep.
got fucking what's her name? God, she was like a popular WWE star. I forget her.
Bella Twins.
No, before that, way before that.
Oh, like Trisha.
Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus. Yeah.
Trish Stratus. Stacy Keibler.
Yes, bro. Oh.
That was my childhood crush. Like her, Morgan, like Megan Fox, Selena Gomez. Yeah. But in terms of WWE, Stacy Keibler.
My favorite
Jeff
part.
Hardy.
Oh, was he your other crush?
The fucking Hardy Bros. Those are my boys. Team
Off
Extreme.
the fucking ladder. Yeah, dude. DX is always my shit though.
Yeah, DX and the Hardy Boys. Those are my guys.
But I can't believe you didn't see that. That's funny. Oh man. But you got anything else to say? I think we've about covered it.
Yeah, man. I think we're good. We got Super Bowl coming up. We got to talk about that on Friday.
Yes, we do. You gonna watch the Pro Bowl?
Yes.
Are you?
Pro Bowl. Yes.
No, I'm gonna watch the East West Shrine Bowl and then the Reese's.
You're gonna suck shit through a straw.
Hey, that's mine.
While you watch it.
I am. I'm gonna watch Drake Scoops fuck corners up like a stepmom on Pornhub. So.
Yeah, my buddy Tyler had good things to say about him. He was at that. Yeah, he's a scout for the SMU.
It must be nice.
Yeah.
Tell him to get me a job.
Nah.
Get us jobs. We'll be there. We'll do it.
What the fuck do you know about football except that you watch it all the time?
Only everything about the game.
Okay. I'll talk to him.
More than you, so I know. Way more than you.
You're going too far, man. You're going way too far now.
With that being said, we're going to leave it on that. In the comments, let us know. Who do you think knows more about football, me or Sebastian?
He's a
with
fucking
that being
Packers
said, as
fan.
always, like,
what the fuck does
comment,
he know about
and subscribe. I'm an OU fan. Everything I need to know. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of last weekend's games. Let us know what you think of the Super Bowl coming up. Again, let us know who knows more about football. And share with your friends and family. And just go on their phones, and while they're not looking, pull up our podcast, and you can put it on mute and just let it play in their pocket. Let us get some views, subscribers, and stuff like that. Just auto subscribe. Everyone in your family, just tie them in a knot like in a cartoon and all in chairs, and duct tape them all to a chair, and then take on their phones and subscribe to the podcast. So
yes.
But I think that's going to be it. This has been the PigSkin Podcast, episode 33, and we will see you all later this week. See you.
Have a good one.